Alright, this is an introduction for the capacitor lab, and it is relatively straightforward. Something we know about capacitors is we can calculate the capacitance if we know a couple of things. We know that the capacitance is going to be equal to the dielectric constant, the epsilon naught, the area divided by the distance. So what we're going to do is we're going to mess around with a capacitor's separation distance when it is connected to a battery and when it is not connected to the battery. Something that you should know is when it's connected to the battery, we are going to have a source of constant potential. When it is disconnected from the battery, we're not going to have a constant potential, but we are going to have a constant charge because the charge doesn't have anywhere to go. For this guy right there, the charge can flow onto or off of the battery. For this guy right here, the voltage is going to mess around as we mess with the distance. So let's go ahead and pop this guy open. So you go ahead and you click on that guy and you see something that looks like this. This portion of the lab, well, we don't know how capacitors behave with resistors yet, so it is fun to play around with, but we're not quite there yet. We're going to use this tab right here. Note that you can mess around with the area by dragging this guy around, and note that you can mess around with the separation with this guy right here. You can disconnect or connect the battery as such, and you can mess around with the battery voltage kind of as such. I do recommend that you check on all these guys right here. And now you can see why I was harping on the electric field between two parallel plates in the previous couple of chapters. We can measure the voltage and make sure everything is all good and hunky-dory as such. Actually, I want to do it on the capacitor, not on the battery. So we can see that we have 1.5 volts, and all you're going to do is you're going to mess around with these guys, with the battery connected and with the battery not connected. So that's more or less what you're going to do for the first part of this guy. And that is going to be having the battery connected, and then come down here and do that with the battery disconnected.